All right, welcome to the channel, guys. Today, we're going to be talking about the due date and the statement date. These are dates that you will find on your credit card statement. Nowadays, most banks will offer it right in the app. You'll be able to see the balance that you owe, and also where you can make a payment. You'll see your due date, which is the date that your payment is due, and your statement date, which is the date where your balance will be reported to the credit bureau. So let's get into it. We're going to kind of go in depth here. So due date, this is the date that your payment is due to your credit card company. This is pretty obvious. Do not miss this date, as this date could mean incurring unnecessary interest and late fees for failing to pay on time. Now, if you are 30 days late on your payment, this will actually be detrimental to your credit because it's going to result in a late payment showing up on your credit report, and this could tank your score, even with just one missed payment. So you could have perfect payment history, your credit looks great, and one missed payment could tank your score 100 plus points. So worst case scenario, at least pay the minimum payment. It's not required that you pay the full balance, even though if you have the means to do it, I would 100% recommend doing that. But if you absolutely cannot, at least make the minimum payment. Even if you have to borrow a couple bucks from somebody, make sure that your payment history stays squeaky clean, because one missed payment and your entire credit report can be completely messed up. So pay your full balance if possible by your due date. Worst case scenario, minimum payment. So statement date, as I mentioned before, this is the date where whatever outstanding balance that you have will report to your credit report. So this will affect your utilization, whether positive or negative. So utilization is a big portion of how your score is calculated. So for example, right here I have, let's say that you have a $1,000 credit limit, and on the statement date, you have a balance of $100. That's the balance that's going to report to your credit report. So you'll have a 10% utilization on that card. Now, if you have other cards, your overall utilization is going to be factored in based off your total credit limit and your total balances for those credit cards. But let's say you have one credit card, it has a $1,000 credit limit. On the statement date, you have a $100 balance. That's what's going to report to the credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, as a 10% utilization. That's actually not very bad. It's not going to make your score go down. But once you start creeping above the 30%, that's when your score will start to see a little bit of drop. And as you get closer to maxing out your card or your cards, if you have multiple cards and they're all maxed out, that's when your score is going to drop. So going back to what we're talking about with the due date, make sure you at absolute minimum pay your minimum payment. That way, once you finally are, let's say your cards are maxed out, once you're finally able to pay down the balance of your cards, your utilization will go down, and everything else on the foundation of your profile is good because you maintained your payments. You never missed a payment. Now your utilization is low, your credit's going to skyrocket again. So at absolute minimum, no matter what financial situation you're in, make sure that you pay at least a minimum payment. Utilization can always change, and every statement date is going to update. So just keep that in mind. Just make sure that you make the payment. So I want to give you guys sort of an example of what this could possibly look like. Obviously, this is Hyatt. You're probably not going to have this card. And obviously, this is 2016. This is something I just took off Google, but I wanted to show you guys what I'm talking about. So here you have your total credit limit of 5,000. Where is it at right here? Last statement date, March 16th. Your next closing date is April 16th. So every month on the 16th, this person, whatever balance they have on this $5,000 card, will get reported to the credit bureaus on the 16th. So next month, based off of this example, it's going to be April 16th, 2016. Whatever balance they have is going to be reported to the credit bureaus. Okay. And fun fact, you can actually change your due date and your statement date. Contact your bank. There's sometimes they have limits on how many times you can do that. Sometimes once a year, sometimes twice a year at the most. But you can change your due date and your statement date. You just have to contact your bank. If you guys like what you saw in this video, we have much more knowledge, and we have a private Discord community where we answer questions all the time. You guys are feel free to ask any questions you like. Sometimes we have live Q&As where you guys can ask questions live, and we're answering them live on the call. We offer one-on-one consultations. We also have, which I forgot to put here, we also have an ebook which will teach you more about credit, plus a lot more. So click the link in the description. All the links will be there in the description for you, and join the family. See you in the next video.